I mean, for the most part, that was, yeah, essentially it. Mr. Feeney, Boy Meets World, used to watch that at like 6 in the morning before school. Sailor Moon, so Serena and the rest of them. Blossom, so 6. Joey, whoa.
Roll me, Mac.
What do you say to yourself when you see your friends with marriage and children? I say I'm happy for them. Right, that's truly what they set out to do. Like having kids, having a wife, and they're genuinely happy, as they say. As for me, I look at it in the sense of like, is that something that I once wanted, like in a fairy tale form? I sure did. I really, really did. When I was definitely blue-pilled, beta male-minded, that was something I really, really wanted. And I'm not saying that either of the people I just talked about, my friends or anything, are blue-pill, beta male by any means. Specifically saying, I'm talking about myself and my mindset and where I was with things, where it was like, turning into a child once you found the woman that you loved, and and that she's gonna have everything figured out the same way that the dynamic that I saw growing up, where it was majority about like what my mom wanted to get done, you know what I mean, that type of thing. And I just move a little. I guess I believe I move a little bit differently now. Now it's more about building a kingdom, something worthy to even have a woman to enter. You know what I mean? And also already having like the essential skills like for leadership, but now it's just more so about the building part. And it's like, well, why don't you build with somebody else? Well, I don't dispute anybody that is that chooses to do so. I choose to not, and that's just on me. And that's a risk I'm willing to take, however it pans out. That's just what you want to call it, the rebel in me, whatever, being stubborn, ambitious, synonyms to me is how I see it. But when I look at them, I love, like, when I'm around them, seeing the dynamic, especially the way that their kids respond to the men that I knew, you know what I mean? Or the women that I, know, like my female friends and stuff, when I see their kids and how they just pretty much circle around their, like their mother for strength, or to get laughs, or to just have a relief from life. They'll sit there, like lay in a bed with them, watch TV. I remember when I used to do that, or attempt to do that with my mom. As I got to a certain age, there was a point where I believe my mother was trying to push me out of that nest. and kind of stand on your own 2 feet instead of being stuck on the titty. You know what I mean? Figuratively, that is. Gotta be careful these days, but figuratively. But I believe it was about, I have to make this one a man. I have to figure out how to get him to become a man that stands on his own. It was something that I had to embark on my own. I look at it similar to being just put into the wilderness, right? So going off to the Air Force and trying to become my own man. Being, the military teaches you how to govern yourself as an adult, responsible adult, and to show up, to work on time, discipline, and all these different things, how to take care of yourself. But I say that becoming a man, that aspect of I'll say having like a family, I believe it's still there. Don't get me wrong, I have my kid, you know what I mean? And looking at them with their families, I love that for them. I truly do. I love that for a lot of them. I just know that for me, there are goals that I want to tackle for myself, really for a lot of people that I value. By the time this thing is where I believe it's going to be, the vision that I have for myself, it's going to assist a lot of people, even after I'm gone. That's the intention. It's the sacrifice I'm willing to make. But I see them and I'm like, one day, man, I'm leaning towards a house full of dogs, pets, really. You know what I mean? And like I said, we'll see. We'll definitely see, man. I think that would be cool. Yeah, just to have that to where all the dogs, everybody gets along, even cats, or hell, if I could have it my way, a pet tiger, but that he gotta be on his own. Yeah, he gotta be in like a cage in the backyard or some shit just by himself. But that's really wish list stuff right there as far as the tiger. But as far as the pets, the dogs go, that's more, I would say, more in a reality-based sense to happen. I can see the dogs happening more so than say the tiger right now. Where as far as where I am right now, we'll see how things go. But looking at them, looking at my friends, and when they're with their families and they're having like their marriage and stuff like that, it's inspiration for some. And some of them is like, well, I'm glad I didn't do that shit. But for the most part, it's inspiration, right? Like essentially that's what you work hard for, right? To get to that point. I just don't want to struggle when I do it. You know what I'm saying? That's my theory for it. And there's a certain way a man has to, for me, a man has to carry himself in this world. And struggling, I played that game before. So I'm gonna try things in a different way and just build yourself up. And I will, and I am. Slowly but surely, that's for sure. But for the most part, when I see my friends and their families, I get inspired. I love it for them. They give you something to think about moving forward. TV characters that you grew up with in your family based on what everybody watched? Well, Lucille Ball, number one, definitely Lucy Ricardo, Ricky Ricardo, Fred Mertz, Ethel Mertz, Little Ricky, Mrs. Trumbull, just to name those, because my mother was a very big I Love Lucy fan, and for the early parts of my life, I spent a lot of time around her. So me and Nick at Night got well acquainted. I don't even think Lucy was on Nick at Night at the time, but yeah, she used to have tapes, and we used to watch these same 8 tapes. She had like this set or whatever, and we used to watch the same 16 episodes because it was 2 episodes per tape. And I would learn to recite these things. I wouldn't even know why this shit was funny. I just knew it made my mom laugh, so I would try to figure out Vitamin the Vegemin. Let's see, Eddie Kane Jr. My father watched, the 5 Heartbeats a lot, so Eddie Kane for sure. Other TV characters, of course, like your Will Smiths, Carlton, Ashley Banks, Hillary Banks, Steve Urkel, Laura, the whole nine there. Living Single, and Living Color, Homie the Clown, a lot of Homie the Clown. What is it? Fire Marshal Bill. He's definitely a character that grew up in the house. I spent a lot of time imitating Jim Carrey, so yeah, whatever he did, I was trying to emulate that. And of course, Sherman Klump. That's for sure. Sherman Klump was definitely somebody that grew up in our house. I was very much influenced by that, who then put that on to, I would say, my brother, and just saying a whole bunch of Eddie stuff. And I just find Eddie to be like the most genius man in television as far as film goes. Like the ability to make, even if his movie is horrible, he will have one scene that will have me like dying in tears. Like it's like something that I don't think a lot of people caught. I don't think it was designed for be like the main joke of the situation, but that was just to me the genius in Eddie Murphy. Of course, Martin, Gina, Tommy, Cole, Hustle Man, Bruh Man, Elroy Presser, Miss Jerry, Stan, Sean, who else? Bob from marketing, Martin. So you know what I'm saying? Like everybody on Martin, I definitely they grew up in the house with me for sure. My wife and kids, definitely my wife and kids for a little bit. Used to watch that a lot. And Full House, Full House, Step by Step. So Cody, Valky for Perfect Strangers. I mean, there was a lot of characters. Dick Van Dyke, Toby Gillis, the Patty Duke, and Dennis the Menace. Yeah, Dennis the Menace. Mr. Ed. There's a lot of Lassie. Yeah, Lassie. A lot of characters. Mark Summers for Double Dare and What Would You Do? I don't think who else, man. The black dude on Nick Arcade. I wish I knew his name. Everybody from Hey Dude on Nickelodeon. Doug, Skeeter, Patty, Roger. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody from Doug, Tommy, Chucky, Phil and Lil, Stu. There was Angelica. There's a lot of characters that grew up in my house. Yes, of course, Ninja Turtles, Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello, Rat King, Casey Jones, Leatherhead. I guarantee Leatherhead's funny as shit because he got that strong Louisiana accent. You ever want to get a good laugh, just YouTube Leatherhead from Ninja Turtles and listen to him talk all fucking day long. By far one of the funniest characters I used to watch. And menacing too, as far as the Ninja Turtles go. Shredder, Splinter, Steve Harvey, Bullethead, Romeo, Seti, Seti Bear. Robert Townsend's character, Robert on Parenthood, Zarya, definitely Zarya from the Parenthood. Zarya was like that. T and Tamara, Go Home, Roger. It was a fun time. It was a fun time, to grow. TV raised me, in a sense. TV fucking raised me. So AJ and Free, Miss Sita, Joe Claire on Rap City, Donnie Simpson, and Sherry. They used to host Video Soul together. Rachel from Caribbean Rhythms. Yeah, Rachel was like that, bro. Rachel was like that. There's a lot. Like I said, a lot of characters. I would say most of the ones that I just named. That's probably Fred Sanford, Lamont, Aunt Esther. Yeah, for sure. Sean and Marlon, Pops, Lisa, which was Leela Rashawn's character, Thelma. So yeah, Thelma, Ruben. I forget what Sherman Helms' character's name was on Amen. but Moesha, Hakeem, Kim, Miles, all of them, like TV, yeah. Spent a lot of time watching a lot of TV. Let me not forget Grandma's House. So, Victor Newman, Cricket, Jack, Paul, Victoria, Malcolm. That's a whole list of other people. Young and the Restless, yeah. So Bob Barker, because that used to come on right before Young and the Restless. Bob Barker. I'm sure there's more like TV characters you just grew up knowing in the family and all that stuff. Whoever them people were on the heat of the night, for sure. And Simpsons were there, but they didn't really have a big factor in my house like that. You know what I mean? But for the most part, that was essentially it. Mr. Feeney, Boy Meets World, used to watch that at like 6 in the morning before school. Sailor Moon, so Serena and the rest of them. Blossom, so 6. Joey, whoa! There was just a lot. Yeah, needless to say, there was a lot of characters that grew up in the house with me. Movie can you watch over and over and never get tired of? The movie I can watch over and over and never get tired of, more than likely, is The Lion King. The Lion King is a movie that I can pick it up anywhere, and I probably recite the rest of it, especially James Earl Jones parts. But yeah, The Lion King is something that, I don't know, it's very nostalgic. And the funny story behind going to see The Lion King. So I was going with my aunt and my cousins and, their family. I was visiting them. We're in Maryland. My aunt was in the Army at the time. And we went to go see it on post. And when we got out, it was thundering and lightning like a motherfucker. So when we got in the car, they're all looking at me like I done lost my damn mind because I'm freaking the fuck out crying because I was afraid of thundering and lightning as a kid. Well, more lightning than anything. I was afraid I was going to get struck. Very much a traumatic experience, nevertheless. But I just remember us doing that, and I think we went to Discovery Zone or Chuck E. Cheese, one of them shits afterwards. But I think I was maybe 9, something like that. But it was a moment. But The Lion King is certainly a movie that I can watch, like I said, back to back. And I feel like there's a lot of us out there that used to do that. When I was little, we used to go to somebody's house, be walking up the stairs, and you know how like you got thin walls in an apartment. I literally can hear Simba running in the gorge. Simba's down there. I could hear the scene. And it's like, yo, everybody is watching The Lion King. But, there's a movie I could watch over and over again. The Lion King. Most important goal every person should have. Okay. The most important goal that everybody should have is to not live by a fucking should. Number 1. Because that means you're living according to somebody else's idea of life, not so much yours. And if you can learn anything from this life, there are times where a person's limits may come true when they see you fail at something and they see, I told you so. But who's to say you're going to stop trying, right? For me, the most important goal, is to not live by a should. To decide that you're going to make a decision to go with what you want to do. Live your life the way that you want to and not what the majority believes you should do. Oftentimes we get caught up in groups, right? And trying to be validated by this particular group. This group doesn't want to start a business, so I'm gonna hold back on my my ambitions of wanting to start my own clothing brand, or a lemonade stand, or I want to start a grass cutting company, landscaping company. I want to start a podcast or whatever, a YouTube show, a Facebook show. I'm gonna hold back because not everybody else is doing it. People gonna laugh at me if I do it. Fuck them. Honestly, fuck them. With a strong fuck. Like, fuck them for for that. Just make a decision, yo. Have the courage to do what you want to do in this life. And if you lose people because of you doing what you want to do in your life, they were never yours. They were never the people that you thought they were. They were only there for what you served. So when you decided to do what you want to do and then they jump ship, is what it is. You know what I mean? Be grateful that they revealed themselves to you now versus later on when the real blessings start coming into your life. I say periodically, I like to ask God and the universe to remove anything that's not for me. And it is sometimes very enlightening to see what gets removed, who gets removed from life. I recommend that everyone does that. I'm not saying you should do it, but I do recommend that to attempt to do it and see what happens for you. There's so much stuff we get caught up in. Our fears keep people in our lives. We fear what we are without them. Our ego keeps us so attached to this idea of what our life would be if we kept these people in it. But if it goes against what you're going towards, you're gonna have to make a decision at some point in time. At some point in time, you're really gonna have to make a decision whether or not it's gonna be them or if it's gonna be me. Who you're gonna choose? You gotta live with you every day. Those people can decide to bounce on you anytime they want to. So you doing something for them, I'm not necessarily saying it backfires if you're doing it unconditionally, but in the sense that you decide to do something for the sake of the majority, when it has everything to do with your life track, it could cost you. It could cost you years to get to where you want to be. Where you want to be, not what everybody else wants you to be, but where you want to be. So I just stand by the whole notion of not living by a should. Be very closely when you listen to people and they tell you, oh, you should do this. Man, you should go get here. Man, you should go watch this movie. You should do this. They're putting their ambitions, they're putting their goals, projecting that on to you. And sometimes it might not be it might not be an ineffective idea for you to do what they're essentially trying to recommend. But again, just living by, I just don't believe in living by a should. If that makes you a rebel, then sign me up. But I prefer to do what I want to do because I have to live with the decisions that I make, regardless of what it is. So if I do what somebody else wants me to do, and then I end up doing what everybody, like I said, if I attempt to do what somebody else wants me to do, and then I do it, and then I just feel some type of way because it didn't go the way I want it to, I'm going to try to point blame. And then they're going to be like, you chose to do that. Exactly. So it's all on me. Everything's all on me. The decisions I make in my life, they're all on me. I'm not able to put that on anybody else. I'm not able to just delegate and lose lack of accountability. What happens is because of me. This life happens because of me. Everything I have is because of me. Everything I don't have is because of me. Choices that I made or didn't make. And, like living life according to what somebody else wants you to do, that's a form of people pleasing. And most people really don't care that much. They want to do what they want to do. They're so focused on themselves that they don't realize that you're putting them on a pedestal and you're doing this so that you can have their validation, so you can feel loved, right? Subconsciously. I don't believe you're purposely doing it like, oh, I'm going out to get love. But I believe the way our minds are programmed from our childhood, be it trauma or just childhood programming, we are trying to do things to get people to like us. And you don't have to. You're fine just the way you are. You're not incomplete. You're not broken. You don't have to join the majority. You can belong to you. You can do what you want to do, as long as it doesn't, hurt anyone. You know what I'm saying? In the physical sense. You just do what, do what's best for you. And sometimes doing what's best for you is going to piss off some people around you. And you got to be okay with that. You have to be okay with disappointing people's illusions. Truly, you really have to be okay with disappointing people's illusions of you. They have an expectation of you in their minds. Like I say all the time, we're directors of our own movies, and sometimes the role that they have for you in their head is not the same role that you have in your script. So when it comes to goals, the most important goals that everyone should have is to, I recommend to not live by a should. Definitely just taking part in life and figuring out what you want to do. Like, separate yourself from the pack, spend some time alone, figure out what you want, not so much what the people you're around want, and ask yourself, are you people pleasing? Are you really just trying to, is your ego just really trying to shine by doing what these people want you to do? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you living your life by your means? We've all been in high school, we've been in middle school, you might be new to a school, and you want to just fit in, you want to do things to try to, say like you're cool. And nothing more cool than just doing what you want to do. And like, people that really fuck with you don't have time to tear you down because you do what you want to do. People that really fuck with you is like encouraging you. They want to see you find out more of who you are. You know what I mean? And we create new versions of us every day. So I encourage all you motherfuckers watching this thing to find out who you are. Try something that scares you every day. Learn different things that you're into. Don't be afraid to, you might have family that might clown you for trying to do some shit that's different than what you guys grew up in, or watching a movie or listening to a style of music that ain't the most popular in your family or friend group. Fuck that shit. If you into it, man, try that shit. Like, for real, anybody that really fuck with you is not trying to change you to fit them. You know what I mean? They fuck with you because they fuck with you. So I recommend that. Find out who fuck with you. So, on that note, that concludes this episode. I'm out. Good night, kids.
Thank you.